I could not wait for this episode today. I actually met this young lady yesterday, and I stopped every single thing that I was doing, and I said, I got to have you. I got to make sure that we have you in the studio, we have you on the podcast as soon as possible. My family is leaving tomorrow for a month, and I haven't even packed yet. But I told her, I said, look, you tell me when you can get to the studio, and I'm going to be there. And it's unbelievable to be able to be around this young lady, a young phenom. She's 17 years old. She's going to the Olympics in Paris, representing the United States in park skateboarding. It is incredible. Some of the sponsors that she has, Vans, Monster, Foundation Skateboards, Bones, Ace Trucks, Bronson Bearings, Mob Grip, Nixon, SoCal Skate Shop. She's freaking out as I'm saying all these because a couple of years ago she didn't have any sponsors at all. 187 Killer Pads and 888. It is my honor to bring to you. I believe we're going to do this one first, the precursor to the Olympics, and then you know what we're going to do? We're going to bring her back on after she has all that hardware. So why don't we get this party started?
Nothing more on my mind. I got to shine, so every day I grind. Work in the morning, work in the evening. We's achieving, cause we believing. It's for certain, we put the work in. We ain't stopped just because it's hurting. Right before your eyes, so it's coming to no surprise. The takeover is televised. Over and over and over again. Make no mistake, we continue to win. Defeat never known, cause I will not lose. They wanna mimic my moves, but can't walk in my shoes.
Well, we were just laughing about it. What'd you say that I got correct, Ruby?
That I'm competing in park skateboarding.
Everybody tears it up, right?
Yeah, no, everyone's like, downhill skateboarding? I'm like, no.
Well, it's funny because when we were at that event yesterday with Greg Reed, it was the premiere of the new book, which is personal development. He introduced us to a woman, and she was like, I think most people don't recognize or realize what you do, right? So when they say, oh, wow, she's a skateboarder, like, oh, cute. My daughter goes to the skate park too.
Yeah, oh, my son like rolls off the curbs in the driveway. Like, that's nice. But so, it's like, no, you can actually have a career, and you can go to the Olympics, and we do skate things that are taller than half a foot.
When did you realize that part of it? I mean, because there's the side of going to the skate parks, right? And the culture is there, you know what I mean? Like, it's not every parent is going to jump up and down because their kid is going want to be a professional skateboarder. But when did it like lock in that it was even possible for you to do what you're doing?
When I was surrounded by more girls that skated. I mean, I'm from the East Coast, so there's very few girls that skate, and I'm just skating with my brothers that are embarrassed to have me at the skate park with them. So I'm like, this is awesome. I feel so motivated, you know. And I used to do ballet, so after doing ballet, I found out my classmate was a skater girl. So that's what really like sparked me and motivated me to want to keep skating, and was like, you know what, like, this is inspiring to have more girls that want to do this, and it's not just a male-dominated sport. So yeah, we would skate together after ballet class, and then
Hold on. You would be in a tutu and some tights and some toe shoes, and then you would switch out into some baggy jeans and a hat over the top and go
I'm not saying I wasn't skating in the tutu.
Yes! Did you start off in the tutu?
I think I did wear a skirt with knee pads one time. Knee slid, ripped it all up. So then I was looking like a Hesh ballerina at the skate park.
Yes.
So that was unique. That was different. And then making, you know, the RV life and journey to the West Coast, and then seeing the level, I was like, oh my gosh.
Was it different levels from the East Coast to the West Coast?
Oh, it's night and day. It's like, it's kind of, you have to make the yes or no decision when you see these girls. It's like, I'm going to go all out and I'm going to do this, or I'm going to pick a different sport. I'm going to go to ballet. Or
it was
so elevated, so high, and so above me. Like, I was second to last place. Like, I was just like,
Was that the first contest that you did?
Yeah, first contest.
Now, was this the Vans one that you got? Because your mom, I know
your
mom entered, entered the, what is it, Van's Life or Van's Family or
Oh
something
no,
like
this
that?
is after
That
this
was after?
contest. Yeah, they're two different contests,
Okay.
but they're both sponsored by Vans.
But the
so.
first one you placed second to last.
Yeah.
What keeps you going?
I think what kept me going and motivated me was the second to last place. You know, it was like, I'm not good at this. I'm not nearly close to anyone else. I'm not at this level.
Mhm.
I'm going to get really, really good, and I'm going to be up with these top girls, or I'm going back to ballet,
Really?
back to the class.
How quickly did you make that switch? I mean, was it
It was
instantaneous?
quick. It was super quick. Like, I remember dropping in, kick turning, and then it was like a few months I was, you know, learning my first Smith grinds, backside airs, hand plants. It was really quick. I think that was like the fastest progression like anyone's noticed of my skating. It was very quick. I was like, I need to make this change fast. So.
Now, where did you pick up your style from? I mean, we're all inspired. You don't ever want to be somebody else, but
Yeah.
where did you start to look at as far as the style? And I didn't realize that this even was a thing where a person could do the same trick. They could do the exact same trick, but they have a different style, and one of them, you just see them as a completely elevated individual.
Skateboarding is the same. It's like art. You can paint the same painting, but it's not gonna look the same. It's gonna have a different color, texture, style. It's going to be different, and that's what I love about skateboarding. It's like an art for me. Even though I'm going to the Olympics, I just want to stand out and have a different style and bag of tricks that people can identify me as. And that's what I think that's like really what attached me to skateboarding so fast, is how like different you can be.
So let's go to the style part too, because I was asking you yesterday as we were talking, and I said, do you have a routine? Because as a ballerina, if you're going to do a recital, you got a routine.
Yeah.
It blew my mind when you said, no, they send me a 3D rendering of the park, and then I basically have to adapt. And so you're free flowing. How does that process happen for you?
Exactly like you just said, it's flowing. Like you're going with the flow. There's not really much more you can do than that. I mean, you have to be an adaptable skater. You have to be able to skate anything, anytime, anywhere. You have to have all these different factors, and kind of having all these factors separates you from the rest of the skaters. Your level and where you're at. If you're super adaptable, you get to the course 20 minutes, you got your line, you got the hips figured out, everything. It's like it separates you. It's like, yeah, she's gonna be hard to beat. She's got her line already.
So
because we're all starting from zero.
Well, help us with this. You just said line, hip. I want to know. Like you said that like it was just rolling off your tongue. We don't know what the hell that is.
Okay, hip.
Hip is what?
Yeah.
In what?
It's.
So explain to them about a park, because
I don't even know a hip.
Well, we were talking about this last night, and I said to my brother, he's a skater, and I said, she skates park, and he said, oh, she does vert. I said, no, she does park. And he was like, well, is it a different? And then we looked at it, and we were like, wow, okay. So to the person out there that's not a skateboarder, explain to us the environment that you have to go into. Kind of pool-ish? Is it got a pool feel to it?
It doesn't have a pool feel, but it has the look of a pool.
Okay.
But with more obstacles and features inside of it. They're like street obstacles.
Okay.
Like a rail will be over a jump that you see like a motocross guy jump over. So we have kind of a mini one in the middle of the park with a rail over it that you see in the streets, but it's smaller because we're not street skaters. And then we'll have like a box, literally just a box ledge on top of the ramp. So it's like a mix of a pool-ish, but with just many factors and obstacles of the streets kind of mixed in. That's how the parks are built nowadays. Before, like years ago, like Tony Alva and Christian Osoy, they're actually skating backyard pools that are like swimming pools that they drained. So it has a different feel. It has less vert. It's more mellow. It's different.
You seem really versed on the history part of it too, which I love, because I said Christian Hosoi, you're 17 years old. Christian Hosoi, for me, as a 9-year-old boy, I was looking up to this guy, I mean, blown away. I said the name, and you're like, yeah, and then you talk about Steve, you talk about Alva, we were talking about Caballero, talking about Tony Hawk. Did you consciously go after the history of skateboarding too, and why was that important to you?
I actually didn't consciously go or like follow the history of skateboarding. It kind of I kind of just got involved with it, and it kind of just happens being a skater. You naturally just find yourself in it. You know, like I find myself skating a backyard pool with Tony Alva or Ozzy Osbourne and all of these like legends that I never would have thought. It just like kind of organically happens, and that's what's so awesome about skateboarding. I never thought I would be skating a swimming pool, and then I'm at the Olympics and just doing all these different aspects of skateboarding, and that's what's super exciting and kind of keeps me on my toes, you know, like, but never would have thought.
What was your first pinch me moment? I mean, you just rattled off about 5 of them for all of us listening. You said I'm skating a pool with Alva. Like, oh, wait a second. Let's just pump the brakes on that one. I mean, help us to understand like a pinch me moment, like maybe one of your first pinch me moments, because most of these guys you're meeting and you don't really know who they are at first, and then you're around them and then you find out. Is that the way it goes, or do you know who they are and then do you know that you're skating with some of the most legendary people in the whole entire world, and then you know, and you're kind of freaked out, or is this just normal?
It's like kind of a little bit of both for me. I feel like every time I'm skating with them, I'm still, like it's still a pinch me moment for me. It still feels unreal, and then I have to come back into reality. And it's like, oh my God, I'm skating a pool with these legends. Like this is not real. And then other times it feels like I've known them for years and they're just one of my homies, and it just feels like they're just a random skater guy. It almost feels like comfortable now because I've skated with them a lot, and I like know Christian like as a friend and everything, and like Tony Alva like recognized me and remembered my name at like one of these skate jams, and that was like, I just was like, oh my God, I freaked out. He remembered my name. He's like, what's up, Ruby? And I'm like, oh, Tony, thank you. Like, just could have cried, honestly. It just, yeah, there always pinch me moments, I feel like every day at the skate park. What
do you want the little girls to know? Because like I've got a daughter, she's 15 years old, and we're in an age now where I didn't grow up with this, but we're in an age now where there's support. There's support of women's sports, there's women athletes, of all these things. When I was growing up, I mean, it's sad to say that wasn't as prominent. What is your message that you want to go out to all those little girls that maybe, you know, are thinking, you know, I would like to go to the skate park as opposed to go to this other thing that I'm supposed to do?
Like, follow your gut and your heart, like something that you truly just know in your heart that you want to do and that you're super interested in, and it's always caught your eye, and it's always like, oh man, I wish I could like try skateboard. Like, do it before it's too late and you like get too old and you're like,
hey.
never mind. You get a little bit like,
what you're trying to say,
less
Ruby?
interested.
You're just saying we're not as flexible.
Age is just a number.
Okay,
that was the wrong word. Just slipped out, kind of.
Ruby, it's not just a number. When you're sore just because you slept last night, like me, then you know that you're getting old.
That's me too, still.
No, because you're jumping off of things and doing airs and the whole
gosh.
nine.
Getting sore from a speech?
Good Lord. Yeah, that's what happened.
That's happening to me too. But, oh my God, I think do it while like you're super and still sparked. Like you're just still super hyped on that before it gets pushed aside and you feel like it's too late, but really it's never too late.
How do you navigate the one side? Like I remember taking my son, right? And I took him to Poods and he was all excited, got on the skateboard, went to McGill's, you know.
Oh, yeah,
and you're probably like, yeah, Mike. But he's just Mike to you. He's like, to me.
Oh yeah, my homie.
Exactly. He's your homie. You probably hung out with him before you got here. But we went to Poods and my son was all in, and it's a different culture though. Like you get there, it's not for the faint-hearted. It's not for anyone who has sensitive.
Think about how it is being a girl.
That's where I want to go with this, right? So my son, he had a tough time because he had grown men dropping F-bombs on him, telling him to get out of the way.
Oh my God, I get it so much, especially like when I go skate street, which I'm like horrendous at.
No,
I get it.
Are you horrendous, really?
Yeah.
You're bad. Or are you Ruby bad? You're still.
No, I'm bad.
No.
It's okay. I accept it. It's fun. It's good to be bad.
We're gonna have to get some footage of this because most likely you're
check
like
the recent posts.
10 times better than anybody else. But you're really saying that like you.
Yeah, park's my thing. I'm not going to street for the Olympics.
Okay.
Like I'm not going to the Olympics.
But you could still handle your own on the street.
No.
Not at all?
No.
Awesome. awesome.
Terrible.
Because I thought that you were a superhero, but I like to know that you're a human being.
Very human.
It helps me. So let's go back to the skate park though, because when my
Yeah.
son getting F-bombs dropped on him, it's rough, and he came to me, he's like, Daddy, I don't want to go anymore.
Tell me about it. I mean, I would get it from like the teen girls though, and the older men, you know, sometimes. But yeah, still like I'll be at a park in LA, and I know that I'm killing this bowl. Like not cocky, but I know that I'm like doing a good line, or I'm actually like there's times where I know I'm not doing good, but this time I did. And this guy was just like looking at me, and he's like, "You skate?" And I was like, "Yeah, like I like skating." And he saw me do a run, and he's like, "Well, you're actually kind of good for a girl." And I was like, "Whew, that's rough." I was like, "Thank you."
But he doesn't know. Is he going to the Olympics?
No.
Yeah, exactly.
No,
He's probably at home. He's probably living in his mom's basement right now.
He was dropping in, and then he's like pushing Mongo in the bowl. I'm like, all right, yeah. I'm not gonna.
Explain to us pushing Mongo, because I remember when I was having my son and he started pushing Mongo, and my brother, who's a skater, was like, "You need to stop him from doing that."
Yeah.
Explain it
So
to what
pushing
it is.
Mongo is usually you push with your back foot.
Okay.
Whatever, if you're goofy or regular. It's
Okay.
pushing with your front foot, and your back foot's on the left on the board. It
Oh.
just looks horrendous.
It's not something to do at the skate park. If you do that at the skate park,
It's not something to do anywhere. Even
Ever.
if you're by yourself, stay in
Really?
your garage. Like if you're pushing
Wow.
Mongo, you've got to feel bad about that.
you got to feel bad about yourself. So,
Yes.
but how'd you make it through? Like, how'd you make it through? Was it because you have? I mean, you have 7 siblings too. We didn't even talk about that.
Yeah.
You have 7 siblings.
Oh my
You're
gosh, I even forget every
You're
day.
the 7th, so you're not the baby, but you're almost the baby.
Yeah.
How much did that impact, like your resilience muscle of being able to go and move through things?
Oh my gosh, so much. I wasn't allowed to push Mongo for more than a day. Like it was like once they realized, they weren't like looking or watching me, I'm pushing the right way, and then they're not watching, and they look over, I'm pushing Mongo, they're like, no, no, no. And I'm like, why? It's easier to push. Like that's why you can't do it. It's not cool if it's easier. Like no, you can't do that.
Did your brothers ease up on you at all?
No. Still, never. I mean, I even skated with my brother at the training facility before I left for Budapest.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, wow, I still don't get an easy time. Like, I'm always doing the tricks wrong.
Even
Not doing it the right way.
Even though you're whooping them now?
Yeah. Maybe it's just jealousy now, but I don't know.
When did you move to the training facility as opposed to, when did that start to happen? And when did you start to see that you could really, really take this seriously? How far into your skating?
I've been skating for about like 6.5, 7 years.
Okay.
So
we're talking 10 years old. You started 10 years old, right?
yeah.
Yeah. At 10, at what age do you say, like, this really could be? Because my son right now is 12 years old, and he's like, I said, what do you want to be when you grow up? He's like, I already told you, Dad, I'm going to the NFL. And I'm like, but I mean,
Chill.
Yeah, but like there's a process to this. He's like, no,
Yeah.
Dad, I'm going to Cal, then I'm gonna play in the NFL, and
Yeah.
you and Mom ain't gonna have to do nothing. I'm like, all right, so let's talk about this. When did it go
So that's
from?
the first step is knowing you want to do this. So
Okay.
he's already got that.
Okay,
He's
good,
already got
good.
it planned out what he wants.
Okay.
And that's super important.
Okay.
The next step is like you have to know what the process takes. So once
Mm.
that's where everyone's just like, oh, bye.
What's the difference? Because it's like, again, it's a very when I say unpolished, like skating it's raw. It's absolutely raw. It's a raw art, and there's very
100%.
few that move it into this other realm. Whereas a lot of people use it as an outlet, as a form
It's
to
a
get away
hobby.
from their parents.
Yeah.
A place to drop a lot of F-bombs on a 5-year-old. You know what I mean?
Yes. Well, they're taking out their emotions and anger, and yeah. And that's why I started skateboarding. It was because of my older brothers, but also that like I realized like I could be super upset about something, and I would go skate, and I would just realize that would all just kind of go
What were
away.
you upset about?
My sister like breaking this peacock pen I had or something, just like some like.
Has she replaced it?
No.
No, still?
I still think about it, but I
Okay.
was like 10,
Uh-huh.
and she just like got mad at me and threw my peacock pen.
And it's still, has she ever apologized?
Yeah.
She
of
has?
course. Yeah.
But she didn't get another one?
No, got me a duck pen.
But a duck pen is not a...
It's not a peacock
It's
pen.
not.
Just not the same.
So this peacock pen, you went out, like you were just mad, and then you just went and
Yeah, and I would
you
just...
were like,
Yeah, I would just skate, but like little things like that, it would just really help me, like, just kind of ease my mind and like somewhere I could take out my emotions,
Mhm.
and it just felt really good for my mental health. It was like a good way to cope, you know? It's
When did you start to move it into like starting to understand what it took to actually go to the levels? Because when to put it in perspective for anyone listening, and you're super humble, there's only 3 people in this whole entire country that have the opportunity to do it. That would be like if you became a doctor and there was only 3 medical doctor positions in the country.
yeah.
You got one of them. Like, that's mine, and you're 17 years old.
It's so crazy because the level for the USA women are amazing. They're all so good. It was such a tight competition. It was really hard. I need to go. I keep getting off
No,
subject,
take us there.
back to what were you asking? I just
I
forgot.
don't even know. I'm just so enamored
Oh,
by
the
it.
process. Okay.
Yeah, the process.
So about 4 years ago, that's when I didn't get invited to any of the, or like I wasn't on the level and like wasn't getting the invites. Too young to, I wasn't even ready for Tokyo 20
Okay.
qualifying or
Uh-huh.
Olympics. So I had realized after that Olympics, I was like, I am shooting for Paris. Like I am going to Paris. I had 4 years.
Did you try out for Tokyo or no?
No,
No.
I only got to go to one of the qualifiers, and you have to
Okay.
go to like 4 of them. So
Okay.
it was not.
So
it was not possible.
one of the qualifiers, how'd you do in that one?
I did super good. I qualified first into semis, and it was my first big contest. And I remember before they were calling my name, I like told my mom, I'm like, Mom, I don't want to do this. She's like on the sidelines, and I'm like, I'm gonna throw up. I don't want to do this. And she's like, You got it, RFL. She
What's
always
RFL?
Ruby fucking Lilley.
Yes. Okay, isn't your mom screaming in all your videos too, by the way? There is a loud scream, like a screeching scream. Like, I've been watching your videos on YouTube, on Instagram, and there is a woman, I believe it's your mom, that is screaming like the emergency broadcast system. Is it your mom?
I think so.
I think it is.
so. She's screaming like so.
Yeah, Mom, it sounds like
it's
you're dying.
intense. No,
But I would
it
be dying
sounds
too.
like I can't fail with this scream.
Do you hear it while you're going?
Yes.
Or do you tune out?
I tune out, but you can't tune out her scream. Like
No,
I
you
absolutely, I love and adore it. And
We
I'm
turned
so
down,
grateful.
we were watching him last night. We were watching you last night. And my brother turned the volume down. He was like, Is that her mom? I was like, I think so. Your mom's a gangster. Like, she should trademark that scream. That scream.
My gosh.
Oh my gosh, it's amazing.
Yeah, no, I'm super grateful. I have a lot of good people supporting me and backing me, and that just helps tremendously. And
Yeah.
you can't do it without all the help.
So when I look across from you, I mean, you're a beautiful girl, 17 years old. You're on the Olympic team. You're one of the top skaters in the world. You're sponsored by every single person that you want to, except for Dior, which that's going to happen.
Soon.
Yeah,
soon.
soon.
I hope,
You're going to be the first skater for Dior.
manifesting that on this podcast.
So when I look at that, I'm like, man, this girl has like a silver spoon. She got the perfect life. Everything's perfect.
That's what they think.
Okay, is that the case?
No, not at all.
Tell me about rabbits and making quilts.
Oh my gosh. My mom really didn't hold back from telling me everything. So I grew up on a farm on the East Coast,
Okay.
and we had sheep, ducks.
Not just a farm, like it was Amish
It was
kind of
farm.
Farm,
Like it
farm.
was gnarly farm.
Okay.
Angora bunnies, which we would spin, and I would spin them and then knit. I would knit scarves and bows, and I had like a little bow company called Ruby's Rainbows, and I would sew little like bows that you clip on your hair, and then we had a bunch of sheep, goats, ducks, bunnies, dogs, chickens, roosters. Yeah, I think that's it. That's a lot. And then 7 siblings.
7 siblings. So, I mean, again, when you look at this thing, and because a lot of times sports like this are kind of political. So, from the outside, you look, and again, beautiful girl, 17 years old. How the hell does she get to the Olympics? She's so good at all these things. She must have had every trainer, every opportunity, and everything went her way. Is this the case?
No, and I think that's what has gotten me here at like such a young age, and has just kept me super motivated and like kind of disciplined and determined, is not having it the easy way. It gives you a motivation to keep going like none other. Like if you just kind of get everything easy, there's no motivation to want it yourself. It's all about like you have to want it, not your mom, not your coach, not a sponsor. Like it has to be like within. So I feel like that keeps me going no matter what, no matter how old I get. 50, 60.
Hey, to me that's still young. Because 50,
So
60
young.
is super, super young.
Yep.
Incredibly, incredibly young. So when you go into the Olympics, how do you get in that mind state? Like, how do you get into the place? And because you said something to me yesterday that I was like, I wanted to stop everyone, but I wanted to be nice to you because I just met you. But you said, yes, the competitions that I've been through and the training that I've been through is actually going to be harder than the Olympics. And I was like, wait, but I didn't get a chance to explain this to me, because you put in the type of work that makes everything else easy.
Thank you. I don't think I have said thank you one time yet. I'm sorry.
You should.
Thank you
Yeah,
so much.
maybe,
I'm so
yeah, you should
starstruck by the
probably
nice
say it.
things that you're saying.
You should say it more often. Is
Sorry,
what it is.
thank you, thank
Yeah,
you.
I'm just joking.
Have you read? Okay, this is my answer. I'm getting to it.
Okay,
Have
you
you
better.
Have you read the book Alchemist?
I haven't. I tried. Is Paulo?
Yeah. Okay.
I read like a page, and then I've got ADD, and I think I fell asleep. Not because it wasn't interesting.
Yeah. The
Because
beginning is not interesting.
No, it was tough.
It's
Had a lot of big words.
the beginning and like kind of midway through is.
And the end.
You read?
I'm just joking.
Oh, what?
Because you said the beginning, the middle, and the end. For me, it was tough. You're smart, though.
No.
That's
okay.
another thing.
So
Are you flexing on me? Is that what it is?
Yeah, I'm flexing on like the one
like,
cool book that I read.
Okay. So tell me about this book.
It was very similar to how it is going to the Olympics or building a career. It's in the book. It's like a shepherd. It's about the journey. It's about getting there. The whole book is about this journey. So it kind of like seems like kind of boring, you know. It's like everyone's like, oh, you just got to get there, but it's like getting there. Like that's the hardest part. I feel like it's all about the journey, but even when you get to the Olympics or go pro, like it doesn't stop. It actually like the journey has just started over again. It's just begun. Now you're on an even like crazier, higher up journey. I don't know if that makes sense,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Well, I watched a video yesterday, actually, and so you inspired me. Like, I've been on fire since we met. And it was like 24 hours ago, and I've been planning for like to be able to spend time with you. I saw a video, and it was showed an eagle, and it said that an eagle, the beak starts to round and the claws go dull, and it has a choice at that point. It can either just die because it won't be able to hunt anymore, or it goes up on a high cliff and bangs its head against a rock to crush the beak, so the beak will fall off and it can grow a new one. And with that new beak, it actually takes out its talons. And this process is over 150 days, and it's one of the most painful things ever, but that's the way that it's able to reinvent itself.
Yeah. Or maybe the other eagles think, I don't know what they're thinking, but let's just die.
Yeah, well, and that's the other option. And the reason I say it is because with you, you're constantly reinventing. It's not like you get done with the trick and you're like, oh, I landed that. Name a trick for me.
Back tail slide.
Okay. Give me like a combination that you would be hitting in the Olympics.
A combination?
Yeah, like a combination, like a back tail slide 360, whatever. I mean,
Okay.
you got.
I'll say back tail slide revert.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So if you hit that, and it took you 200 times to do it, and then you land it, it's not over, right?
Sadly, it has just started. All the work that you just put in is like, well, now you just open the gates. Now you have to do this over a hip, to revert, on a higher wall, through a corner, stepping up into a corner. The possibilities are endless. But that's what's exciting. If you truly love learning new tricks and you love skating, then that journey's not gonna seem so hard and like, I have to do it in a corner now. It's like, yes, I get to do it through a corner. You know, like it's exciting, and that's how I feel learning new tricks. I'm excited to bring it to the next obstacle, next contest, and continue progressing.
What do you find in being a tough aspect of being a public figure? Because you're not just a skateboarder now. Like, you're representing the United States of America, and you're one of three in the whole entire country. Let that sink in for a second,
Oh
right?
gosh.
One of three, and you're only 17. In the whole world, like that, it's nuts. But what's the tough part for you? Because the skating part, if you just got to skate and you didn't have to do all this stuff, even this stuff, you're doing press now. Like, what are the parts that most people don't understand that you're learning as being a public figure?
Expressing how you feel and the emotions through talking. A lot of athletes have a hard time doing that. It's like how they feel, how that run just made them feel, how winning the Olympics or putting out a video part, how they feel, being able to express it. That has been something that's been hard for me, but the more that I do these things, it just gets easier and it feels more natural. I feel like a lot of athletes will agree, though. It's hard to express that sometimes because we do it so much that we don't think about how someone who doesn't skate would understand, or like how we can explain it to them. We don't think, we just always are like, yeah, they're skaters. The spectators are skaters. They know what this back nose grind revert 540 McTwist finger flip tail is. You know, it's like, that's not even a trick. That's just a bunch of tricks combined.
Yeah.
But it's like, it just sounds like we're talking about our nose and a grind, and they just don't understand. So just being able to express is something that I'm still learning, and it's something I didn't know that I would need.
What do you wish that people knew about skateboarding?
It's not just a crime. Like, I feel like they don't understand how much it's helping these kids, like mentally, physically, and all the things that they're going through, how it's such an escape, and it's a way of learning and teaching you things that you need for life, not just skateboarding and not just sports. It just teaches you such valuable lessons that you can't just get at school.
But what do you say to the parent that's the old parent? Like, I'm trying to be the old parent, but the old parent is like, you're saying it's teaching you about life. You're just wanting to be out there dropping the F-bomb, cussing up a storm, just hanging out with your buddies and doing nothing at the skate park. Talk to that person.
Okay, look at me. I'm not dropping the F-bomb. I'm going to the Olympics. I filmed a part. I can be that example.
Yeah.
And so that's what's fun and exciting, is I want to be that example. I'm not just like, yeah, F you.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But
I don't skate. I just sit at the skate park and hang out. And yeah.
But there's so much positive to it. I didn't realize it until my brother said it one time. He said it's the only sport that's illegal in most places where you go. Like,
Yeah.
I wouldn't get hit by the cops for dribbling a basketball.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
That's messed up. Yeah.
Help people to understand, like, how that impacts too, and how we should, I believe that if people had more knowledge about it and had more knowledge about when you said the life lessons, how does it teach, how does a skateboard, 4 wheels and a board at a park with some cement, how's that going to teach you about life?
It really teaches you determination and not giving up, like, the most. It also teaches you, or it also just connects you with such a good community. You know, if you feel like you don't have a lot of friends, or like you don't make friends at school, it's like skateboarding has especially given me, it's connected me with lifelong friends that I'm going to have for the rest of my life, that I'm homeschooled. I don't go to school, so it's like I can't get that through school. So I have skateboarding that is my community, and yeah. So
What's the tough part about being homeschooled and also you're elite in your career already at 17 years old. What's the tough part about that? Was there the parts of, like, at some points wanting to just be a kid, or have you not experienced that aspect? Like the school dances, the hanging out. Obviously that's not gonna get you to the Olympics. You know what I mean?
I feel like I haven't really, like, missed or feel like I'm missing out on any of that.
Yeah.
I go to these world skate contests and travel the world, and like there's gonna be like an after party, and like me and my best friend will be dancing on the dance floor. And it's like we're getting to still do that stuff, you know, in like Shanghai, China, or you know, or Abu Dhabi, Dubai. Like it's crazy, and yeah, no, I don't feel like I'm missing out. I feel like I'm actually experiencing a lot more than
I think
any.
you are,
yeah,
too.
yeah. It's like the opposite.
I just want to be your assistant. That's all I need. I just carry the briefcase. I'll carry the skateboards. It'll be good.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
So with the competition part, what's next for you? I mean, obviously we got the Olympics coming. We're going to do a follow-up, podcast here when we bring back the hardware. Because you're my friend, and then that way I don't have to be an Olympian. So what's the next thing for you? Because you said every time you hit a trick, it's the next thing that you're almost working on. What's that next thing after maybe competitions? Are there other things that you have your eyeballs on?
Yeah, so it's just like a trick. We constantly have events and video parts and then video projects and different type of projects that always come up. So next after the Olympics, I come back and then I'm here for a little bit, you know, skating, training, and then I'm going to go to a Rockstar tour in Portland, Oregon, and then I'm staying late and driving to Seattle with Foundation on a Foundation trip, and we're filming, and it's kind of like the monster video part. We're trying to do that, but for Foundation, and it's going to be like a team video, I'm pretty sure. And after that, I don't know what's on the agenda. I'm trying to think. Oh, there's probably more X Games. Oh yeah, then I have X Games later this year in Japan in September, I believe, and then everything else is to be continued. Just keep skating.
When you get to the skate park, do you love the fact of like when you show like I didn't know. I walk into the room and Gregory goes to introduce me to you. I wouldn't have picked one of 3 skateboarders in the world that is going to be representing the United States. I wouldn't have picked that right off the bat, like right when I walked in. You're cool, you got cool style. My daughter's right around your age. She's a couple years younger than you, but I wouldn't have picked that. Do you love going to a skate park and then people kind of looking at you and then you just killing? Like that's a sneak attack, am I correct?
Yes.
I mean, you're a recognizable figure though too. Now you're becoming more and more recognizable.
Thank you.
You know, especially after, I mean, not only the Olympics, I mean, you're already all over the place and one of the hottest skaters in the world. But do you love the incognito part of it where you can go in and you can almost shock some people too?
Low key, yes. It's kind of entertaining for me. It's kind of funny because like I'll show up to a park and like people are just like, yeah, Vans Monster. But like, she's not sponsored by that. Why is she repping that? And then I'll skate the bowl, and then it's like, oh, yo, like, what's your Instagram or something? And it's just so funny how I feel like that's just so normal now. Like, I'm so used to that from skaters because they're just not expecting a teenage girl to show them up at a skate park.
Yeah.
It's like, that should be expected now. Girls skateboarding is a thing. The level is progressing more and more than men's skateboarding. Like men, like the skating has always been insane, but it's like the girls has been like, okay, good, great, amazing, insane, like absolutely amazing, and it's just getting closer to the level of the men's every single contest, and the field is younger, and I already feel old at 17 competing with the girls.
That just hurt my heart. I'm about to have a heart attack right then. How do you deal with and how do you feel about when people compare it though? Because like for me, having a boy and having a girl, right? When I was growing up, as I said, it was silly the way that girls were treated in sports and just in life and in general. Then it went on the complete opposite, where it was like, no, everything's exactly equal. And I was like, no, because my daughter was in 7th grade and she played flag football and they put her up against 7th and 8th grade boys and it just wasn't fair.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Exactly.
It's not a fair thing. When people start comparing, guys against girls, why should there have to be? Does it, as a woman athlete, does it piss you off? Like, no, this is our sport. We can do what we want to do. You don't need to keep comparing us to something else.
Yeah.
Or is it different?
No, I feel exactly like that. Like, no, we don't need one division. I don't need to go against like Pedro Barros or Jagger Eaton or like these top like just amazing. It's like, no, I don't need it. I want to compete with the girls.
Yeah.
And I just love the vibe with the girls, and they're all like my good friends. And
How do you keep your head straight? I mean, I heard your mom talk about, like, she referred to a couple scriptures yesterday while you were stomping your muddy feet on the white couch and dropping the F-bomb. I'm joking with you, but you know that was true.
Really?
So
Was that
you
me?
did, yeah.
Yesterday?
But I
Oh.
loved it. I loved that part of it because it was real. Like, you know, that aspect. But how you're such an incredible human. You got such an
Thank
incredible
you.
heart, and it feels. I don't know. So there might be a Justin Bieber moment for you later on. But,
Oh, gosh.
but you might have some
Where's the
monkey.
wood?
Yeah. but it seems like you have your head on straight. How do you keep yourself, like, in a world where it's not super popular to stay clean? When you look at even Tony and Christian Soy, those two, Christian was the representation of the rock star. He was that rock star. He went that rock star life. Tony went kind of another way.
Yeah, because with skateboarding, it comes like there's so many distractions.
Mhm.
Like
And there's so much available to you. And there's
exactly.
going to be more and more
yeah,
available to
and
you.
and that's what people, when they think of skateboarding, they think of like that route, and it's like no. We all have the option to go that way, but it's just up to what the skater wants. It's like, what do I want out of this? Like, what do I truly want?
How
Do
do
I
you
wanna go
keep
to-
your nose clean though? Like, what are there things that you have in line, bumpers that you have for yourself, or people around you that help you to be able to stay in that lane?
Yeah, good people definitely help for sure, because it's who you're hanging around and like how you get influenced to
Okay.
do good or bad things. I just try to stay with people that are a good influence on me in my skateboarding and career.
What do you see as good? Like, how would you judge if a person was good? Is it like that they're good with the technique, or do you look at different aspects of their life? What's the telltale sign for you?
For me, like a good vibe.
Okay.
I know we're on the Vibe podcast, and
yeah.
that sounds crazy, but
What
seriously,
constitute that though? I mean, as far as like when you say like that person has a good vibe, what makes that up, or what is the makeup of that?
I don't know. One thing I think is I really respect is when someone's just straight off the bat super nice to you. Whether you're going to the Olympics, you're just a normal person. They're not, it's not like after they find out who you are, oh my God, yes, like I remember you. It's like, oh, but you didn't want to talk to me like 3 years ago when I was living in an RV and I was a hippie. Like, what about that? I still
Making you
remember that.
scarves for the bunnies.
Yeah, I still remember that. Exactly. So something like that, I just
Okay.
really respect.
Have you had challenges that way too, as far as like boys coming around? Because there's going to be more and more and more and more, and you know what I mean? Like, especially when you get in the type of lights that you're getting in now.
Yeah.
There was maybe someone who didn't want to holler, and now they want to holler. How do you deal with those things and stay gracious? Or do you want to stay? I wouldn't stay gracious. That's why God didn't bless me to go to the Olympics. Because all the people that were haters, I would be
There
like,
is
look.
so many times when I just want to be so mean and just like pretend I just don't remember them. Like it doesn't ring a bell, but like I remember exactly who they are and like how they treated me.
Did you get a hard time from people too? Because your upbringing was not normal. Like when you're talking about
Yes,
living in an
yes.
RV,
Oh my
you know,
God, that
not
was-
many people spin bunny hair for scarves.
Oh gosh,
So
this is
that
gonna be
can,
remembered forever.
and that can be something that as a kid, nowadays, like now, if you're different as a skater, that's awesome. They're gonna celebrate.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
when you're growing up, it's something that they make fun of.
Yeah,
Was that
for
something
sure.
that happened a lot?
It did. That was like the hardest part for me to like keep going and want to do the contest is like how I like grew up and how I was raised, and like hearing the girls make fun of like people living in their cars or RV like in front of me, and I would just like hear that, and that would just like really stab me, and I'd just be super bummed and really upset why they even cared. They were like just teenage girls, and like we're in a contest. Like this has nothing to do with what's going on. And
Would they say it backstage or back, like when you're about to get ready, or what, anything like that?
just like the practice days before the contest,
Really?
when we're just like all practicing our lines and runs.
Would they just shout out stuff? What were some of the things that they would say?
Just like, yeah, I know, yeah, she's cool, but like I heard that she lives in her car. They weren't talking about me. Maybe they were, but they were talking in front of me about like some other skater girl that wasn't at the contest.
Was there times where you didn't want people to know?
For sure. I think all the way up until like kind of recently, I've kind of just embraced it, and I'm like, yeah, That is how I grew up. And
I saw you tighten. I tell you, I saw you tighten when I talked about it yesterday a little bit.
in front of.
Yes,
I did because
yeah,
I was like, yes. I had to like get it out, and then I was like, yeah, you know what, YOLO. I'm like just gonna say it.
But I want to apologize to you too, because I think that I could have done better. I think that it was more. I think it was more my fault because I think that I led with it, as opposed to leading with the fact of all the amazing things that you are. And oh, by the way, this is the cool upbringing that you had that brought you to this place. Because.
Oh no.
But I want to tell you, I want to tell you that, and really, it's from my heart in that way. And I thought about it last night, and I was like, man, I hope that she didn't think that I was some old jerk.
No, I actually think it was really like something I needed. It was like someone who I thought that this upbringing and how I grew up was embarrassing, and someone who thinks it's super awesome and cool and is hyped on it, and just seeing how like fascinated you were, from me living in the RV and everything, just really made me embrace it. Like that helped me so much. So thank you. Seriously, I'm hyped that you brought it up.
Well, let's talk about it for a second, because it wasn't just living in an RV.
Yeah.
I mean, it was 4 siblings and 2 parents in an RV. How many is that? Do the math. How many is that?
6.
6
Yeah,
in an RV.
6 people.
How big was the RV?
It was pretty big.
Are
But
we talking like John Madden? You know who John Madden is?
No.
You don't?
No.
Man, I'm old. Like, you know who John Madden is? Yeah. Somebody, at least in the studio, knows who John Madden is. He had a big one. He had like a huge one. You can turn it on or off or whatever it is.
Yeah, they turn.
You're allowed to. You're probably getting texts from like Tony Alva and
Do you want to see what the
Christian
text is?
Yeah, who is it?
Seal in the Shine with 50% off. Our Super Protect wash today. I don't even have my permit. And I'm getting car wash texts.
There we go. See, I'm telling you, it's coming. It's coming.
Oh my gosh.
But let's go back to the RV. So 6 people, big RV, okay?
Yeah.
But 6 people.
Yeah.
And your mom told me that there was times I was like, did you used to roll up to the skate park? Like in the parking lot? And then you guys get out and skate?
Yeah. So there was a time we have the same exact identical bus as the Volcom, just like the Volcom team.
Yeah.
And so they went on a Volcom trip. They would travel around in that RV. So we had the same exact, like it was identical. We pulled up to this DIY in Philly, and everyone's like, oh my God, do you have the Volcom's team? And we're like, no.
It was your family.
Yeah, it's us, yeah. And they're like, the Volcom team. And we're like, no. So like we get out, my dad's like got long hair, and he like would build motorcycles, and he's got like a tie-dye shirt on, and I'm just like, oh my God, couldn't be any more weird. And then I would skate. I was like one of my first DIYs that I skated, and I was just like rolling around and cruising. I couldn't really do any tricks.
What's a DIY?
Do it yourself, like it's built by skaters.
Oh,
they
really?
built
Okay.
it handmade.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
So it's not built by like a skateboard building company. Like CA Skate Parks is a company that builds skate parks. Like they're trained to build it like professionally. But DIYs are just like a bunch of skaters, like Hesh skaters, are like, yeah, we're just gonna build a skate park. So it's like lumpy and it's just not perfect.
Okay.
So that's like the type of places that you film video parts at. It's perfect for that. But this is a really funny story. I was younger, and I was like cruising around.
Younger, like how old?
Like 10 or 11,
Okay,
so
right.
that's like, this is like the start.
Okay.
I remember the people in Philly are crazy. Like I'm from the East Coast, so it's normal now, but I was like young, I didn't understand. This guy asked to buy my tooth.
Did you lose your tooth?
I was like talking to my sister was talking to this like random guy from the DIY, and I'm like, yeah, like Summer, I have a loose tooth. And he's like, you have a loose tooth? Well, pull it out and I'll give you like $50. And I was like, what? Like he literally tried to buy my tooth, like straight off of me. Like he was telling me to pull it out, and I'm just like, oh my God. I feel like we experienced so many funny memories that you just can't forget. So I'm super grateful for it. Like grateful for the RV and that
What
life.
was the toughest part about it? Being a young girl, growing up, and I mean, this was, to put it in perspective too, when did the RV living stop?
It stopped in...
Or is it still going? Did you pull up today in the RV? I want to see the RV. If you've rolled up in the RV, I'm good.
RV life is over.
RV life is done?
Yep.
Okay, all right, cool. When did it end?
It ended in 2020, 2019, end of 2019.
I mean, that's still close.
I know.
That's still close. What was what was the toughest part? Like,
toughest part was having my own space.
okay.
You know, as like a girl, it's just like no space, and sometimes warm water for a shower.
You were cold plunging before cold plunging was cold plunging?
Before it was
Yeah,
aesthetic and
before
cool.
it was like
yeah.
cool thing.
Yeah, it's cool. It's like,
You know
I
what
did
I
my cold shower today.
Yeah.
It's like, I already did that, girl. AVD. Was doing that when I was like 9.
So you already had that positive mental attitude during that time.
Yeah. So get cold showers. This was the worst time. We were traveling through Colorado, -6 degrees, pipes froze. We're eating crunchy cold ramen every
Oh
night
my gosh.
for like a few weeks.
Really?
Yeah. We had to get like heaters, broke. Like that was hectic. Yeah.
How is it, like, because you're really, really focused, your parents won't like me asking this question, but you're 17 years old. That stuff, the relationship stuff is going to start to come if it already hasn't come. Is there a boy or is there anyone in your life right now?
No, maybe after the Olympics, but I'm just staying like focused.
Okay.
I'm just
Maybe
focused.
meaning you have your eye on somebody? You do?
No. I don't know.
But how
I'll
could a guy compete in it? Not that he would have to compete, but I mean, if he can't be soft. Like he couldn't be soft because the resilience muscle that you have, like you would, you know.
I did have one boy in the skate industry. I'm not saying who, but
Okay.
tell my mom like he's really good at skating. My mom was like, tell her like to do this trick, like that trick you do. And he's like, I'm scared of Ruby. I'm scared of her. Like I don't know. I feel like I am kind of like sometimes tell it too much how it is. Not
That's a
too
good
much,
thing.
maybe just normal, but maybe people don't want to hear it. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Have
But
you been conscious of staying away from this stuff because you're focused on your art and your business?
yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's got to be tough though, because I mean, you're still like you're a 17-year-old girl. You're around people, stuff like that.
It is hard sometimes, but it's like boys are gonna come and go. Like the Olympics is like a one time,
Yes.
It's like.
Can you say that again and say McKenna in front? McKenna's my daughter.
Okay.
So just keep telling her like, boy, just stay away from them.
McKenna, boys come and go. If you want to go to the Olympics, this is your shot now. While you're like the healthiest, strongest, youngest, you're just like no
You keep
fear.
saying this young thing. I keep feeling targeted today.
You're young.
Yeah.
Mike's young. Everyone's young. What does it mean to be young? I can define young. It's not age.
Being able to
It's
go to
health and
being able to go to sleep and
being
wake up and
happy.
not be sore from just sleeping. That would be awesome.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
What's the holy grail for you? Like, is there a grail? Like my son is all about grails. Like he's like, I got a shoe grail. Like he has he wants the Travis Scott Jordan 4s. That's his grail shoe, right? Or the Mocha 4 Lows, whatever. He says all this stuff. Are there those things for you?
There isn't. I want to make things like have a shoe or a board or things that are those people's holy grail.
Whoa! Yes.
That was pretty high.
No, I
Stretch
love it.
to say.
I don't
but
think it's a stretch at all. I mean, your
That's the
shoes are going to
truth.
come. I mean, that's a foregone conclusion.
Yeah.
The board, can people get your boards right now?
No,
No,
I don't have a pro board.
but you're going to have a pro board.
I hope.
So what
That's the goal.
after the Olympics, is it does that throw you into the pro side of it, or what what constitutes a pro skater, and how do you get into that realm?
So being a pro skateboarder is having your name on a board on the company you ride
Okay.
for.
We know someone that has Foundation skateboards, right? That represents them. We might know him. He
Maybe.
might be able to
I
hear
don't
us.
know.
Why wouldn't you have a board right now?
Because
Why wouldn't that be? I mean, you're one of 3 in the country that's representing our country. I believe that this should happen
thank you.
right away.
But
Today.
the Olympics and contests don't choose a pro skater. It's the industry. It's these boxes that you check and these things that you do,
Okay.
and
What boxes we need to check, Ruby?
more video parts.
Video parts, okay.
Yep.
So we gotta get you on more videos. See
Yeah,
how I
more
said we?
trips.
See?
You're
Yeah,
gonna be in the video part. You're gonna be on the trip. You're gonna be
They're
in the
gonna be like,
foundation
who's
band.
the old dude over there?
Throw on this shirt
Yes,
and you're
I'm
good
in.
to
I'm
go.
repping foundation. I'm trying to get me aboard.
Let's do it.
So what's that next stage? I mean, is that the next stage for you? Is the board first, or the shoes first? But see, if you get the shoes first and then, then
No, you have to get a board first.
You do?
That's how it goes.
You have to?
Yeah.
Are
Pretty
you
sure. Yeah?
Well, foundation is foundation. You guys hear me. She
Yeah,
ain't saying
because
she's happy. I'm
You
just
can't
saying.
have board first. You can't have pro shoes and you haven't been turned pro by your board company.
Really? Vans.
Mark,
if you're listening out there, Vans, you got an opportunity because that can force the hand of foundation. Foundation be like, oh man, we need to hit it. So what we need to do is have just a bidding war. So they'll be like, no, I'm gonna do the shoes first. No, I'm gonna do the board next.
The first
And then
person to have
Monster-
the shoe.
And then Monster would be like, yo, I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna make her own signature
Pro
drink.
Monster.
That's what I'm saying.
I think these are all NBDs.
Yes. And what?
NBDs.
What is that?
Never been done.
Oh, damn.
Never been done.
Do you use acronyms all the time?
Skaters do.
Do you? Okay.
It's ABD, NBD.
I heard the ABD. That was already been done, right?
Yeah.
Okay. What's the other
You
one?
use these for street spots.
You do.
Yeah. You can't, okay, one rule. You can't go to a rail, a spot, or even like a transition spot, and you can't do the same trick that someone already filmed. It's an ABD. It's already been done. You show up to this rail, and then someone's like, in the back of the van, no, yo, like, this guy already did it. It's ABD.
Really?
We gotta go to another rail. It's like, this rail is perfect. Unless you do like a different trick, obviously. You just can't do the same trick.
So when you're practicing, like say practicing getting your stuff down for the Olympics, how many times does it take you before you actually land a trick?
Oh my gosh. Like hundreds of tries.
Hundreds.
Like hundreds. So like that's just in one little session of trying. So say I'm skating the TF and I'm skating for 3 hours, and the last hour I start trying a new trick. In an hour you can try at least I don't know, 60 to 80 tries on a trick.
Really?
Yeah, if you're just dropping in straight to it like every time. Like you can try for
What's your signature
I mean,
saying?
but people in the
making fail?
streets, they literally battle tricks and film and try to get this trick. There's times or months, years, days. The battle goes on. Like,
Have you invented a trick?
no.
Is there one that you want to, like that you're working on? Like there's what was it? Moto just did. What was the one that he did? The lean 540.
The
whatever.
lean.
He was the first one to do
Yeah.
it, right?
Yeah.
And so that's him
NBD.
inventing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Inventing.
And what? Never been done.
Never been done. It was an
Okay.
NBD.
Got it.
Yes.
NBD. And like the McTwist at the time, NBD, right?
Yeah. Mike McGill
Got it.
invented the McTwist.
So, are you working on anything?
No, I haven't tried a trick that's NBD.
Why not? Is it because you don't have your board yet? If you
Yeah,
had
it's
your
the
board,
board.
if you had your signature pro board, would you be making and doing NBDs
Yeah.
all day?
All day.
And then the foundation would get the credit for it too, because they'd be on the ride. Monster would be there. Do you got mismatched socks on, by the way?
Do I?
Do you? Do you have
No.
mismatched?
I don't want to reveal this.
No, I want to see. Like, do you have mismatched? My daughter always wears mismatched.
No.
Oh, they're matching. Okay. I was like, man, I was hoping they were mismatched. Do you ever wear mismatched?
No.
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 Does it make you weird? Like, does it
Yeah.
make you feel weird?
Yeah, I swear there's like skater OCD.
Really?
Or like,
Are there lucky pairs of socks that you won't like wash for a couple competitions, or do women do that in women's sports too?
no, I'm washing the socks.
Okay.
Oh God.
What is there weird little rituals that you do before you go into a competition?
Yeah, I
Like what?
say this I'm not gonna share it because it's personal. It's mine. That's what makes it exciting. 'Cause you don't know what I'm gonna say before I drop in.
Okay.
But I say this
Is it gangster? Has it got a little edge to it? Is it kind of softy?
soft.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. because I feel like I'm getting deep,
Okay.
like before I'm about to drop in. I say this like
You say it out loud.
say it out loud.
You say it out loud to yourself.
Yeah, I say it out loud to
Okay.
myself 3 times.
Where do you go to say this, or do you just say it?
I'm
like,
on deck about to drop in. The
Really?
guy's like this, and then he
Okay.
goes like that.
And you say it.
Yeah, I'm quick. I'm like, oh, before he puts the thumbs up.
So we gotta watch your mouth. Like,
yeah, you
in
can
the
see because I'm
Olympics.
saying it out loud. I'm saying it like this loud.
So we'll be able to read the lips. If when you come back, if I've read your lips and I say the same, would you confirm or deny it?
It's like, if I was pro.
Do you
if
say-
I was pro for months.
Do you say that? Do you say like, if only Foundation gave me my board, and then you drop it in from there?
I'm like, I'm so hyped to be Am right now. That's what I say. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm like, I'm so hyped to be on this podcast. I'm so hyped I was on that podcast.
So help me too with the competition right before the qualifying to the Olympics, right? We were talking about it yesterday, and it wasn't a situation where it was like you're just a shoe in. Like it came down to the last, right? Take us through that part, because take
Okay.
us into it and explain to us, to let us know the tricks that you're hitting, all the things that you're thinking about too.
Yeah. So in the Olympic qualifiers, there's rounds. So 44 made it to the last qualifier.
How many people came into the competition at the beginning?
In the beginning, the first 3, it was like girls, almost 80, 75 girls.
Okay.
And then
44.
there's the last 2 events that are called the qualifier series, phase 2. First one's phase 1.
Okay.
44 make it, so they cut it. So I made into that. 44 make it. And then there is, the first round is prelims, semis, and finals. So first round is prelims. They take, out of 44, it cuts down to 16. 16 make semis, 8 make finals. So there is 6 USA girls that were invited to the last contest. 4 are extremely close. The last 2 are like, or we'll say 5. The 6th one is like, yeah, like the 5 are super, super close together. But the 4 are like tie. It's insane. I mean, the coaches, everyone's like holding their breath. They're just stressed because no one has favorites, or maybe they do secretly have favorites, I don't know. But you just want everyone to do good. You don't know. It's anyone's game. Like anyone, it can just rearrange the ranking. It's so many points, and the last qualifier is so important that it can just, the person who's in first can just move to last, or like anything can happen. So we're on the prelims. 4 girls make the semis, of course. Not 3, 4. I make it. The girl who is in 4th is ahead of all of us. So things just got confusing. Like things just got crazy. So the girl that was behind me is now like ahead of me as of current. So I'm just like trying to stay calm. I'm like, oh my God. I want to go to the Olympics, but like I could just get bumped out in the next round. So the day of the semis, of course, it's always the day that is the most important. It's hectic. We have to get up at 5:45 in the morning. We got to take the shuttle, everything. We got to get to the park at like 6:30 or 7. There's a rain delay.
Mm-hmm.
It rained. We got up at like 5:45. We get to the park at 6:30. There is the rain delay for like 3 hours. No, wait, sorry. It's like 4 hours or 6 or 5 hours. We don't even like start to practice till like 11 or 12 or like 11:30. I am just trying to stay calm. We get a 15-minute warm-up. I had the worst 15-minute warm-up in my entire life. I don't get emotional, and I don't really cry that often, good or bad. I broke down behind the toilets with my mom, crying. I was just like, I don't want to do this. I'm so stressed. I don't know what to do. My mom's like, not like a crazy soccer mom. Like, I don't care what you want. You have to get out there and you're going to the Olympics. She's like, I respect your decision. I was just like I started crying because it's like, oh, I love my mom. Like, it's just emotional.
Did she wrap you up like in a bunny scarf?
We're just like hugging and I'm like crying, and one of my teammates gave me a best friend necklace and I'm like holding it and I'm like in my pads sweating. It's 100 degrees. It's like, I'm just like, oh my God, I'm just crying so hard. My mom says this makes me cry harder because it just touched my heart. I think that crying was a release. It just released all the emotions, and I was like ready to, I'm gonna cuss, not give a fuck in the contest. Like, I was ready to literally just go crazy and just do my absolute best no matter the outcome. I didn't care. At that point, I feel like I had just released everything that was holding me back and the tension and everything, and I was just like, this is my time. Like, I'm doing this.
Take us to the feeling of when you hear that you're one of the three that is going. That's like my reaction. I'm like, I get butterflies because that's a lot. That means a lot, and that's like that's a crazy achievement. That is rare, and I'm like really beyond grateful to say that I've achieved, and I'm honored to represent USA. And this has been a dream since 2020, RV life, and just to have it come true. It doesn't feel real, and I feel like it hasn't sunk in. And when I'm in Paris, I just want to take every moment to enjoy it. What do you want to say to your parents?
I love them so much. I'm really grateful for my mom and dad. I'm grateful for the hippie life. Couldn't have done it without them and the support, and that just goes a long way to have parents that back you. And I'm grateful that I have parents that have backed and supported any decision I made, from being a ballroom dancer to a ballerina, fencing, going to the Olympics. They have just stood behind and backed me and backed my decision and not pressured me to go in any direction that they want.
So Ruby, I started the podcast because of my two kids, Maddox and McKenna, who you'll meet at some point.
Aww.
And I never wanted them to worship idols. I just wanted them to be inspired by icons like you. And so what advice would you have for Maddox and McKenna? And if you could use both their names, it would be awesome.
What do they like to do?
Maddox is a football fiend. He's a quarterback. He's unbelievable.
Oh
and
my
my
gosh.
daughter is in the theater, in the arts, so she sings and dances and acts.
Oh my gosh. Maddox and McKenna, I can already tell you guys are stars from your dad because he's amazing. And keep doing what you love, and sounds crazy, but seriously, like, follow your heart. Like, don't feel like you have to make decisions because of deals or money, anything. Just follow what you truly want to do and what you love. Stay true to yourself and what you believe. And I'd say literally do not care what anyone thinks, because at the end of the day, we live on a floating rock, and if you care, it's going to hold you back so much, and it's going to hold you back from the things that you can achieve. And yeah, I don't know.
We talked about shooting for the stars yesterday, and I asked you, like, who do you ultimately want to be sponsored by? And, you know, you struggled a little bit, and then once it broke open, you were like, Dior. And then you said, yeah, Dior. Like, it was like, it was that kind of experience.
Because I was like, do I shoot like around? I'm like, do I shoot that's like kind of close? No. I'm like, wait, no.
Let's go.
I was like, Dior. I was like, yeah.
Talk to Dior right now, because they could get you right now. What would be the pitch to Dior to have the first skater, the first female skater on their roster? They don't have any skaters at all, but imagine them having that. If you had them in the room right now, what would you tell them?
Oh my gosh. I feel like...
Why would you be a good candidate for Dior? Why would you be a good representation?
I feel like my skating style, personality, and I feel like I would be able to represent Dior in such a unique and different way than any athlete, and I would have kind of, I don't know how to say this, like a raw and organic skater style. I don't know. And then also have like the athlete. Like, I just have to feel like I have both sides well-rounded, and I also wear makeup when I skate, so not a lot of athletes actually wear it because it sweats off, but they got the setting spray.
That's a straight product shout out. I love. Hey Dior, you also have an opportunity before Foundation does at the end of this day to get have her be her board done for her too. So
a Dior Foundation Pro board, a Dior Pro lipstick. Oh my God!
Hey, how about that? Right there we go. We're already working on it.
Oh my God!
Ruby, it has been an absolute pleasure. I can't wait to have you on the podcast again. When you come back from the Olympics. And I know when I say like bringing back hardware, things like that, for us with you going, I don't think that we as a country could imagine a better representation, not just from the talent side, but also just from your heart. And I could see that in the way that you looked at your mom and you gave her a hard time and you stomped on that white couch yesterday, even while she was looking. I saw you, which I love that part. But the love that you have for your mom, the admiration that you have, and I mean, you're way beyond your years, and I just want to thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me on this podcast, and I'm just so beyond grateful to have met you. You're an amazing person, an amazing heart and soul, and I've enjoyed this.
Thank you. Foundation, you better come to the table. We got to get this board done. Vans, we got to get them shoes done. Monster, you better come. We need an RV from Monster. Monster, you guys got to get the RV going.
RV life is over.
Hey, we're bringing the RV back. We're bringing it back. We're going to have a fleet of them. It's going to be Monster everywhere. Monster for everyone. Boards from Foundation for everyone. You're going to have the signature.
Oh my God.
Vans, Vans, what I want you guys to do is I want you to go back and I want you to watch the movie Air. And if you watch the movie Air, then you'll see a guy that changed Nike. And I'm sitting in front of a young lady who could change Vans. And I exposed it for a whole different area. And then, but I just need the size 10 and a half. That's what I need. So
Got you,
I love you so much. You guys are, I want to thank every single person for listening. I want to thank you, Ruby, for being here and taking your time. And you're officially off the hot seat.
On my mind, I got to shine, so every day I grind. Work in the morning, work in the evening. We's achieving, cause we believing. It's for certain, we put the work in. We ain't stopped just because it's hurting. Right before your eyes, so it's coming to no surprise. The takeover is televised.